Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NXT Heatwave review happened on Sunday night. Able to finish it up this morning. Watched Money in the Bank yesterday. Now these Heatwaves, we have the one pre-show match or countdown match, and then you have 5 matches on the main card. Kind of like the old NXT takeovers. Those have a place in the professional wrestling world. Just like some people have said online, and I happen to agree with it, the pay-per-view model that AEW does and that TNA does, those also have a place on the pro wrestling model. Every company is going to be different, and I've watched a lot of independent wrestling. I review a lot of independent wrestling here as well, and there's a lot of differences. Now, did I like this weekend too? Fairly short shows, 5-6 matches done. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Do I also find enjoyment in a 5-hour with clean pre-show, 4-hour main card, 1-hour pre-show of AEW All In or All Out or Double or Nothing or whatever the title of the show is? Yeah, I find enjoyment in that as well. So what I don't find enjoyment in is treating me as a wrestling fan like I don't watch your weekly product, which WWE does. They do all these vignettes and all these video packages for the match I'm getting ready to watch. Well, I don't have to watch the weekly shows if you're going to tell me everything that happened on the weekly shows on the pay-per-view. Or the premium live event, excuse me. So I think all these promos, they do all these video packages, you're taking away from your weekly show because there's no reason to watch them. That's just my opinion. People talk about why ratings are down. Maybe that's part of it. But you know what? We're going to concentrate on NXT Heatwave. We had one countdown match. We had Jacy, Jayne, Jazmyn next taking on Arianna, Grace, and Karmen, Petrovic. This match, honestly, just a good match. It was a good, solid match. One of those matches, if you're like, hey, now I'm kind of, especially if you're in the arena, 7.5 minute match to kind of just spark the juices. Okay, gotta make sure I got my soda, my nachos. I'm ready to go for the main show. This is kind of that little appetizer, just that kind of that first bite of the nachos. So, okay, now let's see the rest of the show. We did find out after the match that Arianna Grace, before I go any farther, Karmen Petrovic ended up pinning Jazmyn next. Arianna Grace, the queen that she is, thinks she's better than Karmen Petrovic, and so we actually have a match coming up NXT tonight. Tonight's Tuesday, right? Yeah, tonight's Tuesday. We have a match with those two tonight on NXT, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Arianna Grace and Karmen Petrovic getting the victory. I gave it 2 3/4 star. Then we started the main card. Holy smokers. What a hot match to start this with. The NXT North American title on the line. Champion Oba Femi taking on Wes Lee. And I remember Wes Lee, if he loses this match, he can never wrestle for the North American title again as long as Oba Femi has it. Wes Lee went just a million mile an hour to start this match. He just went crazy, but at one point, Oba Femi grabbed him, threw him up in the air, probably 7 feet in the air, and just let him drop on the mat. Just threw him up like a doll. It's like, oh God. Oba Femi is just I've actually said this in a video before. He's the modern day Ahmed Johnson. The old school fans might want to go look that up. But yeah, this guy is powerful. This guy is just all about strength. And Wes Lee's all about the take a risk, high diving. Lee did this reverse top rope power slam. Oba Femi went to do a power slam off the top rope. Somehow Wes Lee got out of it and ended up kind of turned into almost like an X Factor. It was like the craziest kind of move ever. Even the announcers were like, what the hell just happened? But yeah, just big move after big move like that. But the power of Oba Femi at the end of the day got over on Wes Lee. And still, NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi. I give this match 3 3/4 star. I did see some 4 stars online, which I don't have a problem with that. I think it's literally right there. It's one of those matches, probably Oba Femi's best match in NXT. These are the kind of matches you need to kind of get the talent over. So you look at Oba Femi, you're not expecting a 4-star match out of him. you're expecting a squash match. Wes Lee, if you know his, high risk ability, okay, the style, his styles make fights kind of deal. These two way different styles, can they mash them together and make a great match? And they did. So Oba Femi, still your North American title champion. Next up, we had the NXT Women's North American title line. We had Kiana James taking on Ruca. Ruca, for me, one of the best athletes in the women's division, kind of like Tiffany Stratton, kind of like Charlotte Flair. But she's so green. Even Kiana Jordan in the same way. They're both so green when it comes to professional wrestling. They got to kind of build themselves up, but they got moves that they can use to build themselves up. They got those. Ruca does the moonsault, and when she does, it's like, whoa, that's pretty neat. The fact that she has the ability to do that, if she can just add everything else with it, the submission game and all that, I think she can be unstoppable. She could be that Charlotte Flair type. Having Kiana Jordan hitting poison ranas all over the place, having the moonsault to the outside that Ruca did, both of them taking those high risk maneuvers. The fact that Kiana Jordan hit not just one, but two poison ranas on Ruca. The last one turned it in. Basically, it was like she did that poison rana and then did a split leg second rope moonsault to get the victory. Really cool move, a Naomi style move. I thought that was really awesome. Kiana Jordan retaining her North American title. I give that match 3 3/4 stars as well. In the history of NXT TakeOver / Premium Live events, this could be top 15, top 10 of women's matches all time. That includes the era of the Four Horsewomen. So yeah, definitely one of those must watch if you haven't seen it already matches. Next up, another can't miss match. NXT Tag Team Titles on the line. Champion Axiom and his tag team partner Nathan Frazer taking on Chase U, Andre Chase, Duke Hudson. I love how since Duke has been part of Chase U, you've seen this kind of almost heel Duke kind of going kind of, you're fully expecting him to turn on Chase U at any time, and he hasn't done it yet. And he's got that snarl to him. It's like, I'm better than where I'm at, but since they look up to me, I'm going to stay here kind of. And that's kind of the way I look at Duke Hudson when he's been with this whole Chase U stuff. Bringing in Riley Osborne and stuff, and Thea Hale, she is just that little spark plug on the outside of the ring that's just crazy. But these two teams went at it. I mean, high flying with Axiom and Nathan Frazer. Now, what I fully expect at some point in time, us getting an Axiom versus Nathan Frazer match again, because there's been some dissension there. If you notice, Axiom was ready to go out there on his own, but Nathan Frazer was like 2 hours late to the arena. And he's like, I'm here, we're good. So I think they're just going to keep putting dissension there, and that's going to end up costing them the titles. But just the big spots, the fact that there's some almost kind of hesitation there with Axiom and Nathan Frazer, I end up giving this match 4 star. 16, almost 17 minutes, and it was a damn quality, good tag team match. These are the matches, if you're going to have a 5-match card, which they do, these are the kind of matches you need. You get a 3 3/4 star match, a 3 3/4 star match, a 4-star match. You need to give wrestling fans that, oh my God, look at this match kind of moment. You don't need a bunch of just random shit happening on a 5-card match. Now you get a 12-card match, or 12-match card, then yeah, you may have a couple of those potty break matches. These matches have not been potty break matches whatsoever. And then we follow that up with the NXT Women's title, champion Roxanne Perez, taking on Lola Vice. I don't think Lola Vice, in my opinion, is to the level of a Roxanne Perez or a Jordan Grace when she's been there. But I do think she's kind of in that Ruca, kind of Jordan kind of level. So she should be in the kind of North American title hunt versus the women's title hunt. But right now, NXT doesn't have a lot of top-level women's talent. They've all gone to the main roster. They should have left Tiffany Stratton. They should have left, I can't think of her name, she went to SmackDown. They should have left her on NXT. I think they're just trying to move people up too fast and kind of overbloat that main roster. But good, solid match. 13 minutes. Booker put over the fact that Roxanne Perez wrestled for Reality Wrestling, the youngest champion in the history of Reality Wrestling. Started wrestling when she was 14, like he does every match. I'm going to end up giving this match a 3.5 star. Brings us to our main event. We had NXT champion Trick Williams in a fatal 4-way, taking on Javon Evans. Too early in his career to be there. Formerly known as Jay Malachi on the independent scene. Way too early for him to be in the main event for the title, in my opinion. Shawn Spears, bringing him basically as AEW character to NXT. Formerly known as Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10 when he was in NXT before. Now the chairman. Literally just the same gimmick. That's cool. I have no problem with that. He's a solid wrestler. He's one of those, you're going to have a fatal 4-way. You put a guy like that in there because you know he's going to do a couple good spots. He's a body. He'll take the pin if need be, but he's not winning. Then you have Ethan Page, the ego Ethan Page. I didn't care for the way this match ended. Now the fact that these four were just fighting, Williams and Page were fighting it out on the outside. Javon Evans does that dive off the top rope into Williams, into the through the barrier, and they're supposed to be friends too. And Javon on the top rope, and Trick just pushes him off, and he just falls back through the announce table. That was pretty epic. Now, the end of this match, you had Javon laying in the ring. You had Ethan in the ring. You had Trick going on a run. Trick hit the finisher, whatever his finisher is called. And he shot that twice. He hit Ethan Page with it. He hit Shawn Spears with it, which led Trick to fall out of the ring. It led Ethan to fall onto Javon Evans. Shawn Spears grabs Trick's leg. Ethan, after getting hit, is laying there on top of Javon, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. And just the crowd's response is like, oh my God, was that supposed to happen? And Trick talks about this in the WrestleMania documentary. I think Rock talks about it too. And I think Roman said it. They go, when you can swerve the fans and give them that what just happened moment, you know you've done something. And that's what this was. It reminded me of when Sheamus won his first world title at TLC in that tables match against John Cena. When John Cena looked like we were watching with the Pulse family, and we all went, did he just accidentally fall through the table? And it's a tables match, so he loses? Did that just happen? So those are the moments that I think in pro wrestling that you look back on like, did that just happen? Ethan Page, your new NXT champion. I know there's a lot of talk of the TNA NXT crossover, Forbidden Door, whatever term you want to use. Charlie Dempsey's been doing some stuff in NXT. Here's my opinion on that. We don't have top level NXT stars going to NXT. We have Charlie Dempsey. We have tier 1 stars coming from TNA to NXT. Jordan Grace, Frankie Kazarian. I think Ethan Page is going to be like the NWO when Hall and Nash showed up and they're like, they work for the other company, they're here, like the Invasion. I think it's going to come out that Ethan Page is part of TNA and he implanted himself as a mole in NXT to win their title. I can see that storyline coming out. But Ethan Page, your new NXT champion. Roxanne Perez retaining her NXT Women's Championship. The tag titles staying on Axiom and Nathan Frazer. The NXT Women's North American title staying on Kiana Jordan. And Oba Femi, still your NXT North American title. I gave the North American title, both of them, 3 3/4 star. I gave the tag titles 4 star, 3.5 on the women's, and 3 3/4 star on the men's title match. That is NXT Heatwave. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. From the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania, Robert Sports Show covers it all. Thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.